Today we're looking at topic 2-4 in our textbook. Our goal is to be able to display and analyze data using a stem and leaf chart. So we're going to look at the below table to make a stem and leaf plot for this data. We're looking at the average July highs for selected European cities. And you can see in the data chart it just kind of gives us the data spread out. What a stem and leaf chart does is it takes data and it looks at it based off of the tens place and the ones places. So what we do to make our stem and leaf chart here is it starts with a T chart, and the first part of this T chart is our stem and the second part is our leaf. Okay, in this case, the stem is going to be the tens place in our numbers. So if we are looking at the number 72, our stem will be 7 and our leaf will be 2. The cool thing about a stem and leaf chart is you don't have to organize the data necessarily least to greatest, although it does help in the creation of the data. Okay, so we're looking at our data and we see that it looks like the smallest number is 6,9 and it looks like the largest number is 8,9. So my stems are going to be 6, 7, or 8. Okay, and the only one, there's a 62 as well and a 66. So we're going to look over here and we're going to look at everything that starts with a 60. So we have 62, 66, 69, and I think that's all the 60s I see. Okay, now I'm going to come and I'm going to look at my 70s. I have a 71, a 72, 2 73s, and I'm going to list both of the 3s, 2 74s, I'm running out of room. Let's see if I can move this. Okay, sorry. And I missed that I had a 70. Okay, so I stopped at 74. There's a 75. A 76, a 77, a 78, and a 79. So six, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my 80s. There we go, I think that'll work. I don't have any 80s, but I have an 81. An 88 and an 89. Okay, this is a stem and leaf chart. So here we can see the frequency, the number of times I have a number in the 70s. And really quick, I can kind of get an idea of what the central numbers in this data are. Most occurring in the numbers for July are going to be temperatures in the 70s. And they range in the mid-70s, the low 70s, and the high 70s. There's some temperatures in the 80s, some temperatures in the 60s, but really the bulk of my data lies here in the 80s. Okay, so you create the stem and leaf chart, and then you can look at how the data lies in there to see what the central numbers are. So we're using the tens digit for the stems. Okay, just to remind you, the stems in this case are going to be the tens digit. The leaves are the ones digits in this case. And you always write the leaf even if it repeats. So we have multiple 3s, multiple 4s. So even if they repeat, you need to show that. And then you're also going to create a key with your chart. And so your key is going to tell you that it'll just be an example, like 7, 6 equals 76. That way the reader, the person who's trying to analyze your data, understands what your stems and your leaves stand for. So now it's time for you to try. Go ahead and create a stem and leaf plot for the below data. Be sure to mark down any numbers that any of your leaves that happen to repeat. You want to put down the leaf even if it's a repeat leaf. And be sure also to show your key. Go ahead and pause it, and when you're ready, we'll continue on and I will show you the key. Okay, so I have the key to your stem and leaf chart right here. You can see that we have our key telling you that 4-8 equals 48 milligrams. You could have chosen 2.2 and 7 or whatever you want to there. You can see that the most frequent number that occurs is going to be the 3. So the 3 is the most commonly occurring number. 1 also shows up quite a bit. So we're talking about calcium in different vegetables. So here we're seeing that there's a lot of vegetables that have calcium from 10 to 19, a lot that have from 32 to 38, and then everything else has a lot less frequency than that. Now it's time for you to try analyzing a stem and leaf chart. So here I have a stem and leaf chart that shows the total points scored in 39 recent Super Bowls. So it has the range with the stems and the leaves. It has a key telling you that the stem is your tens place, the leaf is your ones place. Okay, that is shown right here. There's your key. Okay, now I want you to write a few sentences to analyze the data. So you want to think about highs and lows and the majority of the data where that falls. Go ahead, pause it, write out your sentences, and when you're ready, we'll show you the key. All right, so here is the key to the you try. The lowest point total is 21 points. So you can see that right here. So that's an important piece of data. The highest is 75 points. Most of the combined scores, as you can see, are in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. That's where most of those combined scores come into play. Your highest totals and your lowest totals are the most unusual. So now it is time for you to write your summary. The summary of what you learned today. And to rate yourself. How are you doing? And once you've done that, let's take it one step further and have you write down any questions. So it could be questions on stem and leaf plots, how they're made, ways to analyze them, questions on vocabulary, or any general wonderings as well. Like maybe why we're studying this or anything like that, and we'll answer those questions tomorrow.